Any declarations of conflict of pecuniary interest? Hearing none, we'll move forward into new business. First item on the agenda is the Niagara Region's 2019 Audited Consolidated Financial Statements. This is an information report. Can I have a mover and a seconder to get it on the floor?
Move Dave.
Second, Kevin.
Okay, I'll turn it over to the chief if you'd like to give a highlight of this report.
Thank you. I will turn it over to our finance manager, Laura Rouleau, to do that for us. Thank you.
Okay, so good morning. So you recall in November of 2019, the board had decided that they no longer wanted to engage a separate financial audit for our service, that we would just continue to have the audit with the municipality. So this report, so from that motion, the board also requested that we come back and at least just provide an update on the region's audit and if there were any management letter points resulting from the audit. So this is just our report back to you that the region's audit resulted in an unqualified audit opinion and that there were no management letter points. So the short of it is that they had no issues with the financial results of the region and of which ours are part of that.
Excellent. I'll now open it to questions of the board if there's any board members that have any. Seeing none then, I'll call the question. Anyone opposed to the recommendation? Hearing none, the motion passes. So we'll move to item 2, which is the capital project closeout report for 2020. There is a recommendation attached to the report. Can I have a mover and a seconder to get it onto the floor?
And we'll move.
Bill.
So moved by Chair. Deb, did you get that?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Excellent. We'll move that over to the chief for a high-level report.
Thank you. Through you, Chair. Really, this is the closeout of several capital projects that we had, and we're requesting that the positive balances that remain in those capital projects be transferred over to our police capital reserve for a total amount of $27,024.23.
Okay, excellent. They're outlined on page 2. Is there any questions from the board members?
I have one question. It's Ken here.
Go ahead, Ken.
On page 2 of that report, third item down in the closeout is project number, which is 1274. It's called Hyundai Data Collection Equipment. Can you just refresh my memory as to what that was, what that item was again? I don't recall
it. Through you, Mr. Chair, I'm just going to have Laura Rouleau provide some details on that for you.
Okay, so this one was brought forward by ETU, and I'm just going to read what the item is. It was an equipment, it's a tool for downloading crash data for specific vehicles, and it's being used by the collision reconstruction unit.
Okay, I know what it is. Now it makes sense. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Any further questions to the report? Seeing none, I'll call the question. Is there anyone opposed to the recommendation? Not hearing any, the recommendation then passes. So that moves us to item number 3 on the agenda. That's the NRPS budgeting planning. It's a 2021 operating and capital budget. If I could have a mover and a seconder to put the recommendations on the floor for discussion.
Tara will move.
Kevin will move it.
Okay, so it's Tara moving, Kevin seconding.
Yep.
At this point in time, I'll turn it over to the chief for a high-level review.
Thank you, Chair. Really, the report is self-explanatory, and the information has been furnished to us from the region. It outlines a budget timetable that's in accordance with the regional bylaw, and we're looking for the board's approval for us to approve the timetable as outlined in the report.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions from the board members?
Henry, Ken here.
Go ahead.
It's not really a question, it's more of a concern on page number 5, and I think I brought this up when we had some discussion on this a month or two. The shortfall as a result of the Ontario Lottery and Gaming funding from the City of Niagara Falls, that $4.2 million, which we've had in the past 6 years, that will have an impact on our budget going forward if that grant is minimized to some extent. So I just wanted to highlight that that's an important component to our funding envelope, if you want to call it. So I just want to highlight that that is a concern. On page 5, the $4.2 million. I know it's not being totally absent, but at the present time we are already experiencing a shortage in contribution from that grant in our funding even for this year. I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
Henry, it's Dave. I would agree with Ken regarding the impact from the casino funding, and wondering if that might be a key factor, or noted a little strong on the recommendation that that's an uncontrollable by our budgetary process, and that funding for that would be required as with the others from the region.
I'll turn it over to the chief here. Would that be something Laura would include in that letter that we've sort of deferred at this point in time?
So through you, Chair, with regards to the casino funding, obviously much is dependent on the next several weeks and months ahead as we evolve through the framework to reopen the province. We're optimistic, as is the City of Niagara Falls, that the casinos, or the casinos, plural, will be reopening in Niagara Falls. And for 2021, again, we're optimistic that because the casinos will be operating, that the revenue that has been furnished by the City of Niagara Falls in past years will continue to flow through to the Niagara Regional Police Service.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Steve. I guess we need to remain optimistic, so thank you kindly.
Yeah, and I'm sure the service will give us updates as we move along here. Any further questions regarding the report?
Henry, it's Bob.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, the first comment, I hope I can, I'd like to share the Chief's optimism about the casino money, and I guess we should be optimistic, but I think there's a lot of bullet holes in that, with money coming from the City of Niagara Falls on this and coming from the casino. But that's not the point of my conversation. Appendix 1, and I understand that we're in a public meeting right now, so I'm not going to talk about bargaining or anything like that, but how do the dates, Chief, are they affected at all by bargaining positions with the budget kickoff July 13th to August 7th budget preparation? Is that affected at all by our negotiations with the Police Association?
Through you, Chair, it should have no impact whatsoever with regards to the budget timetable.
Okay, that's what I need to hear. Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, and I'll call the question. All those in favor of the report, or those opposed, please speak. Okay, hearing none opposed, that the recommendation does pass. That moves us to the next item on the agenda. It's other business. Do any of the members have any other business? do you have any other business under the finance? Seeing no other business, then we move into adjournment.